Tell me when I'm on, my friend. Amanda, are we on the
It
air?
says everyone can see and hear you.
It says we are.
Oh, hey, thank you. All right. That was a trick question. Everyone, my name is Troy Myers. I'm working with Amanda Plow. I'm a Stonecoast of the, I'm a graduate of the Stonecoast MFA in Creative Writing in University of Southern Maine. And we've been doing a reading series, Amanda and I, since January with alumni from the program. We went every week up through about May, and then we've gone to every other week in the summer. We had an idea to pair, and I have another faculty member, Deborah Marquardt, who's interested in doing this. If you were Deborah's student, but finding a faculty person who would read with a graduate of the program. And we give the faculty person additional time and let them share professional work, and then start off with their student and let them talk about what it's like to work together while they're at Stonecoast. Which is a great idea. And Rick Bass is the first person who's volunteered. Cristina Perachio is here from 2 or 3 weeks ago. She read the first half of a fantastic story, which we'll read the second half of. And we used her in part to talk Rick into coming on the show and reading. And there he is. Now, Rick lives in Montana.
Careful.
In the woods. And his Wi-Fi is a little sketchy. So we'll do the best that we can with this. And I want to say congratulations to all the graduates, new graduates, who we think are graduating tonight or this weekend, perhaps today. Those of you who fulfilled your residency while during the pandemic, which is a lot of fortitude and a lot of strength of character. And if you're going to be a writer of anything, at least a poet, you're going to need both. So look at it as a positive growth experience. If you're one of those students, and congratulations again. It's a big accomplishment. The third and fourth semester projects are not easy. As always, I say hi to my mom, who watches every week and the next morning, and hi to Amanda's mom, who's also a loyal listener, follower, watcher. So Rick popped off again. So no pressure, Cristina. We'll go ahead and let you kick off, and we'll see if we can get Rick on here before his book, for a little while, is fantastic collection of short stories over years of his life. I've read the entire book. There are absolutely magical moments in there, so please pick it up. And we hope Rick can come back and read for us in about 20 minutes. So, Cristina, how are you? Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. I'm doing well. I'm excited to finish out the story that I started with you guys last time.
Yeah, I was, as you know, I was very enthralled by that. The adolescent girls in the town, and a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, a lot of reality in there. I dug it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I thought it would be helpful to give just like a really quick couple sentence catch up for those who weren't tuned in last time.
Okay, it's all yours, Cristina.
Okay, great. Thanks, Troy. So this is a short story called Green, and it's about two teenage girls who are living in Orchard City, which is a fictional neighborhood in the Philadelphia suburbs. Both girls are being raised by their dads. The narrator's mom recently died, and her friend, whose name is Cam, her mom left the family. So they're both being raised by their dads and navigating that. While our narrator's father is away on a motorcycle trip spreading his wife's ashes, the two girls decide that is an ideal time to throw a party since they have the house to themselves. At the party, our narrator is assaulted while too drunk to consent to sex with a boy from Orchard City, which is also called OC. Her friend Cam decides that the boys in OC are all scumbags and that they need to meet guys from somewhere else. So they end up on the main line, which is the fancy part of Philly, with two boys that they met through their friends. And that's where we're picking up here. I guess the only other two little things to know is that the boys don't really have names. One boy, the girls think he looks like the TV character from My So-Called Life, Jordan Catalano. So he's referred to as fake Catalano. And the other boy just got his braces off. So they refer to him as Teeth Licker because he can't stop licking his teeth like you do when you get your braces off. Okay. So we'll just get right into it. I'm just checking the time here. Okay, so both girls have excused themselves and they're in the bathroom together. Cam strikes a match, blows it out, and wets it with spit. It leaves a little black smudge on her tongue like a new birthmark. She's always knowing how to do stuff like that because of her big cousin Denise, and I'm always grateful. Holding my chin still, she smudges some black stuff near my lashes. We hear the opening chords of Champagne Supernova and we lose it. We laugh so hard we ruin the eye makeup. We come out and fake Catalano says we should all go swimming. We can go in our underwear, of course, like he just thought of it. The pool is just like on TV, a big glowing green lima bean. The water is warmer than the air. Once we're all in up to our necks, we don't want to get out. Let's just live in here. There are lightning bugs in the trees like little blinking aliens. It smells different out here than home. You'd think it'd be quiet, but it's not. Loudest bugs we ever heard. Me and Cam have almost forgotten about the boys who were just sitting hunched on the steps of the pool like two dopes. We've never been in a pool like this, so we can't help ourselves. We do handstands and have tea parties in the shallow end. We tell secrets underwater and try to guess. Someone makes up a game. If you've done something, you race a lap. Have you ever been on a plane? They race. Ever gotten suspended? We race. Arrested? Fake Catalano smokes Cam. It's not even close. Taken a punch? We all race. Have you ever seen a dead body? Cam shoots me a look, a horrible look that I figure people will be giving me forever. I don't know if everyone else can tell, but it seems like the bottom of the pool has just dropped out. It's an unsteady but familiar feeling. When I was little, I wasn't afraid of the ocean, but I was afraid of the overcrowded community pool. I'd worry that the concrete would crack and the whole thing would fall into the earth, a big sinkhole, people buried alive on top of each other. I swim to the diving board and pull myself up and out. Inside, I'm dripping all over the basement carpet. The fridge looks like something out of an advertisement for beer. There's so much of it. My mom used to say she'd make a great rich person. Money's wasted on the rich, she'd say. She liked nice things. Our bathroom was for some reason decorated with a Paris theme. She kept the perfume ads in her underwear drawer and closet, so everything would smell like stuff she couldn't afford. She insisted that even if she won the lottery, she'd go on living like she did now, just with better clothes and mail-order makeup. But she wouldn't move from OC. She hated rich people that much. I can see Cam and fake Catalano going at it in the deep end. I don't even notice Teeth Licker until he comes up behind me and puts his hand right down into my underwear. Sorry, he says. And I don't know if he means for belching in my ear or for this. He smells like stale beer and bod. He starts kissing me the way you might give someone CPR. I had a cousin who did whippets once and it froze his brain. He adjusts himself with the other hand. And he died. Okay, I say. Were you the one who found her? He says. He still has his hand down there, if you can believe it. And I say, who? And he says, like I'm stupid, your mom? And I say back, she had cancer, which isn't true, but it feels better than the truth, that she ate a fistful of Oxy, no note. Cam said she killed herself. Have you ever been so angry so fast you think you might pass out or something worse? All you can see is white and your ears ringing. I hear myself say, Cam's a liar. She lies about stuff. He says, all right, forget it, or never mind, or something like that. I can't exactly hear him. There's so much blood pulsing through my eardrums. He's kissing me again, standing there by the open fridge, his pruny fingers trying to tug down my bra that's sticking to me from the chlorine. I tell him not to, but he says, "Don't be prude." All my hair standing up on end. I can smell cheese cast, the guy from last night, somewhere in the back of my sinuses. Sometimes when I'm driving, I get this flash of letting go of the steering wheel, or if I'm cooking, I'll picture putting my bare hand flat on the hot coils. The thing is, I don't want to get hurt or die. It's not on purpose, but I can't help it. It almost happens the way you see lightning bugs in the pitch dark, out of the corner of your eye, but then you look and they're gone. Just sparks, fast flashes of light, like little nightmares. So it's like that when I bite down on his lip until I taste blood. There's a sickening crunch and his wail. He jumps back like I bit him, which I did. "What the fuck?" he says, hand to mouth. Blood comes out faster when you're drunk, and it's really getting all over him. He's gone white like he might puke, and then he does right there next to my bare feet on the nice cream-colored short pile basement carpet. Cam and Fake Catalano come running in. "Holy shit," Cam says. "There's a hole," Teeth Licker is saying, pawing at his own mouth. "She bit me, psycho bitch." "What? No, she didn't," Cam says, looking to me for confirmation that I can't offer. "Well, fuck," she says to herself. "He's gonna need stitches," Fake Catalano says, like he's a doctor all of a sudden. And now both boys are yelling at us and about the blood and the stupid basement carpet of all things. We start grabbing at our clothes and just about fall through the sliding screen doors. We run around the pool and have to hop the fence before landing in the neighbor's yard like a two-headed, eight-limbed monster. We lay there like that, panting, trying to catch our breath but not make noise. "Psycho bitches, I'll kill you. Yeah, we're gonna kill you." We stay as still as we can, hidden in the grass in someone's big fancy lawn with a real bird bath drowning out the sound of our ragged breath. I feel it in my bones, the distance between this big, strange yard and Orchard City. It feels endless. Cam feels it too. A heavy claustrophobicness. I know it, even if she doesn't say so. Finally, she whispers, "Why would you spend all that money on a basement?" She doesn't need to ask why. I bit him, I guess. She knows I don't want to have the name Fake Catalano still stuck in my head when I'm 30. "I know. What a waste of money. I don't like being underground," I say. Happy for a moment, Dad decided to sprinkle Mom over an ocean in a place I've never seen. Cam gets it in her head that we should walk back home. "I don't care if it takes 3 days," she says. She props up on an elbow to look at me. "We can't go anywhere until you wash your face. You look like my dog after he killed that possum." I wash in the cool water of the mossy bird bath. "Everyone's the same everywhere," Cam says. "Only the houses are bigger." We walk across the dewed grass in our bare feet, our boots tied and slung over our shoulders like two boxers. There's a thick, steaming morning fog coming off fresh laid asphalt like walking in a dream. It feels so still here. No horn honking or even the hum of the highway, just some sprinklers and birds. That's it. "It is pretty," Cam says, like she'd been having a conversation about it in her head. I forgot that I'm mad at her for telling about Mom. It comes out all pathetic when I ask him. "Why do you tell him?" She thinks about it for a while. Cam does that. It makes me nervous when it's silent for what seems like too long, like a bad phone connection. "I don't know. It just came out. I keep thinking about it, even though I don't want to," she says. "I really liked your mom." And I don't like the way she says it. She's walking a few steps ahead of me, and I shove her from behind. "What's your problem?" she says, pushing me back. When I don't answer, she shoves me harder, and I trip over myself and fall. I try to take out her knees, but she pins me down, and we wrestle like that for a while. She's a lot stronger than me. She's stronger, but I can run faster, which doesn't help here. Cam gets her knees on my forearms. Finally, she stops, crosses her arms over her chest. We sit like that for a bit, out of breath. "Don't even try biting me." She's trying not to laugh. "You obviously didn't know her," I say finally, my voice sounding like a stupid kid. "You'll see," she says. It's hard to stay mad at someone who's gone. The sun comes up strong and orange with long streaks of clouds behind it like sherbet dripping. We split the last bottle of Yoo-Hoo and half a tasty cake lemon pie for breakfast. When we run out of grass, we put our cool, wet feet back into our boots, laces untied, and walk out onto the road, newly paved and freshly painted. Maybe it's the hangover, but I get a hollow, sad feeling in the back of my throat and want to cry and feel stupid for it. Cam takes my hand. I don't know how she knows to, and we walk like that for a while, hand in hand, swinging our arms like two little girls. We see a SEPTA sign like a goddamn mirage, and in my secret jeans pocket, I find a pair of tokens. Hallelujah! And we run to get on the first train heading towards Philly. We're feeling better already, laughing again, watching the green whiz past behind us and follow the wiggling power lines and crooked pavements back home. We talk about the videos we'll rent, whose house we'll sleep at, and what to get on our pizza. That night, we'll lie on Cam's mattress on the floor, staring up at sponge-painted clouds and plastic glow-in-the-dark stars, talking until our throats hurt. On Monday morning, we'll eat orange cheesy toast, crunching and whispering together and tiptoeing to not wake up Cam's brother. We'll ride one bike to the first day of school, me on the handlebars, not caring how fast we go. The wind, cool and mossy, will remind us of bigger, greener backyards, but it will make us glad to be stuck in OC, at least for now. The foghorn reverberating across the murky Delaware River will haunt us the whole way to school, the grand finale of summer sounds. It'll creep into my dreams, that sound. Me floating in an ocean alone, far from a rocky coast, bobbing weightless under a dark but star-filled sky. The last weekend of summer will already seem far away, like something that happened to other, younger girls, not something we'd ever do now. And that's it.
Cristina, thank you again. You know I dig those characters. And that scene with the guy in the pool, he smelled like stale beer and bod.
Remember bod?
Yeah, that was great. Just himself while he's talking to the character. I mean, wonderful stuff. And the ending was so beautiful. The foghorn and the floating. For me, that was a really satisfying end.
Well, Rick helped me a lot with that ending. He did, for sure.
Very cool. Yes, it is Gatsby-ish, as Rick is saying in the little chat.
Thanks, Rick.
But honestly, I like it better than Gatsby's ending. That's just me.
I agree.
We think that Rick might let me know when he's ready, and he's in Montana still, and may have a little trouble getting on. So we're gonna check. Well, I saw his name. If you're just joining us, my name is Troy Myers. This is Cristina Perachio. We are graduates of the Stonecoast MFA in Creative Writing. My colleague and I, Amanda Plow, and I host a show, really just a reading series of other alumni from the program every Sunday night. Well, not in the summer, but every other week. And we've had a series of student readers tonight for the first time. We have a faculty reader, Rick Bass. Rick does live in Montana, and he is in the middle of the forest, and he's had a little trouble getting on. So I'm gonna keep talking about your story, Cristina, for a minute or two, because I wanted to anyway. Was the line at the end? Was it wiggling power lines and narrow streets to come? Something streets to come. When they're riding back on the train, I loved it. I love how they return home at the end of that bizarre adventure.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, and the content about the mother too. It's really beautiful stuff. Where can we see or read your work? And when is this story coming out?
Yeah, so this story will be out in Narrative Magazine, I believe in August.
Okay.
And then I have a short story called How to Be a Nanny that will be out in, I believe the magazine is pronounced Ziziva.
Oh, I know Ziziva.
Yeah, it's one of those
back.
things. I'm like, I've never said it out loud. I've only seen it written.
Southern California.
That.
Very cool.
So that will also be out in August.
Good. Is that going to be online content now for Ziziva, or is that?
It's definitely in print. I'm not sure actually if it's online or not. I'll have to check on that.
Yeah.
They're new to publishing my work, so I haven't worked with them before. But Narrative, you can definitely check out online. You do have to sign up, but it's free and it's great content. So I would encourage everyone to do that.
Okay. Thank you so much for reading again.
And yeah, thank you. I'm glad I could wrap up this tale.
Yeah, you did. I'll be looking for it when it comes out.
Thanks.
I don't know, Amanda. It looks like we might not be able to get. This is Amanda Plow.
Hi.
Show. Usually behind the scenes. How's it going?
I think that I feel okay. I think Rick might be a little stressed out and frustrated not being able to join. Christina, I know that you said that Rick had a hand in helping you come to work out some of that material. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I pretty much my first semester, I had a bunch of short stories that I brought with me to Stonecoast, and this was one of those original stories that just got rewritten over and over and over again. And Rick just wrote in the chat my Stonecoast mantra that he came up with for me, which was "death to cute," because I came to him, and well, the reason I wanted to work with him, other than the fact that he's Rick Bass, is because another Stonecoast alum, Dave Patterson, told me that if you work with Rick, he's really going to kick your ass. So I was like, that sounds about right. Let me work with this guy. So one of our first conversations, I told him that I feel like, I have these stories that I really enjoy writing, from different perspectives. A lot of them are from the female perspective, a range of ages. And the issue I was having was creating an ending that was satisfying to me, but that didn't tie everything up in a neat little bow and make it all, no matter how dark the story was, I felt like it was hard for me to write an ending that didn't end up kind of cute. So I wanted to, Joyce Carol Oates is one of my favorite writers. And I wanted to, I just had her in my head and wanted to write short stories in the way that she does that, she's not afraid to leave the reader horrified. So in doing these rewrites, Rick really helped me hone in, on each individual sentence, really thinking about, what was needed and what wasn't, and what you could leave out, and what the reader could, take from it without you spoon feeding them. Yeah, I mean, endings are hard. Endings are really hard. I've I've heard people talk about, I know how it's going to end, and then I'm just working towards that. I do not feel that way personally. So that is usually the challenge for me. But I mean, working with Rick was excellent for that reason, for sure. And I'm happy where the story ended up. It really was rewritten God damn, so many times, and rejected so many times over the last couple years that that I've been working with my agent trying to get it placed somewhere. And I'm really happy to see that it has a home with Narrative.
Yeah. Okay. What a great place. What a great publication. Okay. It looks like Rick is kind of here, but maybe let's see what happens.
The ghost of Rick.
It's really funny. Oh no.
Oh, it didn't work.
It's really funny. He'll pop in and then he'll say something really funny in the chat.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to add him to the video stream, and it's just not super working the way that we thought it might. So, Troy, what do you think? Should we? He graciously offered a rain check.
Yes.
Or we also talked about maybe having you just read a short passage from his most recent work, or.
Well, yes, we didn't decide. Of course, Rick's coming back. Hey, there he is.
Hey, Rick.
Is this
We'll
the
definitely
time?
check.
The seventh time might be a charm, perhaps?
25th time, and there's no charm going on tonight. Sorry, my deepest apologies. Cristina, you're killing it, and congratulations on your beautiful baby, beautiful family, and oh yeah, by the way, you're writing fiction. People could hate you if they didn't know you. Yeah, you're
Thanks, Rick.
We don't hate you.
very. That's a backhanded compliment, isn't it? It was meant. It was meant.
Just a
This
little
is starting to
girl.
feel like the talent show late at night at the Harris Seekit.
Right.
Okay. Well,
So yes, Cristina, did you have an input?
Say that again, Troy. I'm sorry.
Well, we're definitely going to bring Rick back. Now he'll keep popping in, perhaps here and there, but we'll bring him back when he's somewhere where he has real or stable connectivity to the.
Non-yak Wi-Fi would be ideal.
Yeah, I think he's gonna take a break because it's not working too well.
Yeah.
So it is 5:30. Rick has a gorgeous reading voice, and he's done recordings. Like this book, this is his collection of short stories for a little while. You can get this in audiobooks with him actually reading it. However, I didn't have that ready to go tonight because I thought we'd have the real Rick. I'm going to take a risk and read a short story. It's only 3 pages. It's very short. It's called The Canoeists. I do this as an homage to Rick, and I'll tell you how I got to know Rick was I'm not a fiction writer, so thank God, because I'm terrible when I try. I'm a poet, and I went to Ireland with the Stonecoast group the semester after I graduated, and Rick was one of the 2 faculty who were there. Ted Deppie is always there. He was one of my mentors, but then Rick was also there. And I did not know what to expect from Rick. You know, I'd heard he was tough in workshop. He was a fantastic workshopper of my poems, but I'll tell one little story that really reveals his heart and character. I don't think he would mind. I was, there's an order to workshop, and so I was up, he moved me out of alphabetical. I was now last at the week, and I didn't know why. And then we get to me. I'm the last person they're going to, and he looks down the table and he says, "Now, Troy, do you want to do the poetry or the prose first?" And I said, "Rick, I didn't write any prose. I just turned in 4 poems." And he pulls out this like college essay covered in red ink, and he says, marker, and he says, pushes it down the table. "You didn't write that?" I look at it, it was some shitty paper on William Blake. Some undergraduate even the title was terrible. I don't know if he still has it. And I said, "It's absolutely not my work." And so he said, when I went to the printer at the university to pull off your poems, this paper was behind it. I thought you wrote it. And he said, he asked me a question, the first residency that I met him, about Blake, and I didn't hear him. I didn't respond. And he thought this was my answer 2.5 years later, was this piece of crap paper.
Oh my God.
He was incredibly kind to me. He was prepared to be very gracious. He had worked hours on those things. I mean, on that thing. I know what that's like as a writing teacher. So I saw such heart and compassion and care. He was so worried about how I was going to handle that criticism about what was really an idiotic analysis of some Blake poem. So that's how I know Rick. And then I've spoken to him a couple times since. I have a great admiration for him as a writer. And I heard him read this short story, and it is very short. I'll do my best. I won't sound like him, but I really will give it my best shot because I'm such a fan. And we'll make sure Rick comes back and is able to do a full evening with us. This story is called The Canoeist. Again, it's from his book For a Little While. The two of them would go canoeing on any of the many winding creeks and rivers that braided their way through the woods and gentle hills to the north. They would drive north in Bone's old truck and put the boat on the Brazos or the Colorado or White Oak Creek or even the faster running green waters of the Guadalupe, without a care of where they might end up, and would explore those unknown seams of water and bright August light with no maps, knowing only what lay right before them as they rounded each bend. They would take wine and a picnic lunch and fishing tackle and a lantern. They drifted beneath high chalky bluffs, beneath old bridges, and past country yards where children playing tag on the hillsides among trees above the river stopped to watch them pass. They paddled on, Bone shirtless in the stern, and Sissy straw-hatted in the bow in her swimsuit. When they reached sun-scrubbed bars of white sand next to deep, dark pools, around the bend from any town or road, shaded by towering oaks, they would beach the canoe and lie on blankets in the sun like basking turtles, sweating nude, glistening, drinking wine and getting up every now and again to run down to the river and dive in, to cleanse the suntan oil and grit of sand and shine of sex from their bodies. Hot breezes would dry their bodies quickly again once they returned to the blankets. Their damp hair would keep them cool for a little while. They would lie perfectly still on their backs, looking up at the sun, hands clasped, and listen to the sawing buzz of the 17-year locusts going insane back in the forest, choking on the heat. Later, when the day had cooled slightly, they would climb back into the green canoe and drift farther downstream, unconcerned by the notions or constraints of time and the amount of water that had passed by. They would paddle on into the dusk and then into the night, falling deeper in love and speaking even less as night fell. Paddling with a lantern lit and balanced on the bow, with moths following them. Fireflies would line the banks, and they passed occasionally the bright window square blazons of farmhouses, of families tucked in for the night. When they came to a lonely bridge or railroad trestle, they would finally relinquish the day, or that part of it, to the river, and eddy out to the bank, where Sissy would climb out with a lantern and Bone would pass her the equipment. And then he would climb out and shoulder the canoe like some shell-bound brute, and they would pick their way up the slope, clambering through brush and litter tossed from decades of the bridge's passerby, ascending to the road while the river below kept running past. Owls would be hooting, and heat lightning, like a pulse or an echo from the day's troubles, or like a price that must be paid in the day's bliss, would be shuddering in distant sky flash in all directions, that would seem like no debt or accounting to Bone and Sissy, only more blessing, as the breezes from the far-off thunderstorms stirred and cooled them as they walked through the quiet, slow sounds of crickets, and through a near total darkness, save for those glimmers of lightning and the fireflies that dotted the meadows and swarmed around the couple as if accompanying them. They might be 5 miles from their truck, or they might be 20. How to get there, they would have no idea, but neither would they be worried. Bo would not be due back at work for another 12 hours. They would walk down the center of the dark road, Bone toting the canoe over his head like a crucifix or some huge umbrella, and Sissy walking beside him as she would any living thing, a dog, a horse, a gentle bull, a cat. And she felt much the same herself, part human, but part other animal as well. And it was, again, the calmest she could ever remember being. After a while, a vehicle would approach from one direction or another, almost always an old truck in that part of the country, and the driver would give them a ride. They would lash the canoe in the bed of the truck belly side down, as if it were still in the water, and climb it into the cab with the old farmer and ride back north into the night. Though other times, when there was no rope, they would sit in the canoe itself, in the back, slanted skyward, gripping both the canoe's gunnels and the side of the truck to keep it from sliding out. They would ride seated in the canoe, wind rushing past them at 40, 50 miles an hour. They would be unafraid, their hair swirling and the rolls of lightning wash flashing. Sometimes their patron, as he crossed the county line, would want to stop the neon red of a bar. They would climb out of the canoe and go inside with him to share a beer, perhaps a sandwich or ribs. The sides of their green canoe would be smeared with the wind-crushed bodies from the swarms of fireflies they had driven through, some of them still glowing cold but becoming dimmer, as if cooling. And they made the canoe look special and pretty, like a float in some parade. And people in the bar would come to the doorway and stare for a moment at it thus decorated, and at Bone and Sissy. They would drink a beer, would shoot a game of pool or two, would visit in the dark bar, listening to the jukebox while the summer storm moved in and thundered across and past, like the nighttime passage of some huge herd of animals above. And afterward, when they went back out and climbed into their canoe to head on back north, with the driver searching for where they had left the truck, the air would be scrubbed clean and cooler, and steam would be rising from the dark roads. And the smears of fireflies would be washed from their canoe, so that all was dark around them again. They would find their truck eventually and thank the old driver and shake his hand, and for the rest of his short days he would remember having given them a ride. They would drive home toward the city with the windows rolled down, listening to the radio. They would unload the canoe when they got to Bones' house and climb the stairs without bothering to turn on any of the lights. It might be 2 or 3 a.m. They would undress and climb into his bed, into the familiar clean sheets, warmer upstairs, and open the windows for fresh air. They would make love again, both for the pleasure of it, as well as to somehow seal or anchor their return home. In a daylight, Bone would awaken and shower and dress in his suit and head to work, leaving Sissy still asleep in his bed, their bed, swirled in white cotton sheets and asleep in a wash of morning sun. That's Canoeist by the great Rick Bass. Rick will be with us as soon as we can get him to come back. Hi, Cristina.
Hi. Great job reading that. It's lovely.
There's a lot of pressure since Rick is such a great reader, but thank you. I love that story in that there's no fear. Meaning if I got in a canoe and went down 20 miles and didn't know how to get back, I'd be terrified. Where's my ride? But in the story, they're not afraid. Have you heard that story before?
Oh yeah. I love the book, and I love that story in particular. The line about the fireflies on the canoe and it looking like a parade float always stuck with me.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Rick, of course, writes a lot of nature-based work, and that's one of the reasons that I'm drawn to his material. So if you don't have for a little while, pick it up, please. And in a little while, we'll have Rick Bass back on to read in his own voice. Thank you all for staying. And Cristina, you win the Trooper Award for the 2021 Alumni Reading Series. Thank you for staying with us.
No worries at all. I appreciate you having me on again. It was fun.
It was fantastic. Thank you so much.
You guys.
And Amanda, if you want to pop back on, you can. Otherwise, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'm looking for readers. I've got a couple possibilities, but I'm still open. So if you are out there, just Stonecoast alumna, if you just graduated, or you're going to graduate in a semester, or your faculty, I'll be reaching out, or reach out to me and Amanda Plow, and we'll get you on. We'd love to hear your word. All right. This is all about family. Thanks, everyone. Take care and love. Bye-bye.